Okay, now that we got those edges all nice and smooth and even, it's time to start punching in some stitch holes. Got my dividers, and they're set at just proud of 1/8 of an inch is usually where I put my stitch holes. I think it looks good that way. Let's see now. Yep, that's the way I did this one. That's just proud of 1/8 of an inch. And this one here, I really like the way this holster came out. Anyway, take these and I'll just set them against the edge. Oh, you really can't see what I'm doing, can you? Well, trust me. I'll take my dividers. Actually, I usually hold them like that, because that actually helps me to hold the dividers by having that rod against the back of my fingers. And I'm going to start at this point right here and just run the dividers on around, marking where that stitch line is going to go. Being careful to keep them perpendicular to the curve on the edge of that on the edge of the holster. That'll help to ensure even spacing. Keeping the spacing even won't make it stronger or weaker, but it'll look better. And in doing leather work like this, part of the aesthetics and one of the decorative elements is the stitch line. That's why I used contrasting stitches on something like this, because, well, I like the way it looks. Do the same thing to this side. And I don't know how well you can see that, but I have a mark where the stitch holes are going to go. And the way I'll do that is before I punch any holes, I'll do it on this side. I'll mark off where they're going to go. And to do that, I'll just use my punch and give it a little tap. Now I have a bigger punch with more prongs that I use for straight lines, but seeing as how this holster is all curves, I'm going to have to use this little one. This is not a hobby to get into if you don't have any patience, because some of these steps take a long time. One of the most time-consuming things, honestly, is waiting for stuff to dry. Here's some people, they'll take hair dryers to it and put stuff in a warm oven and try to hurry up the drying process. But the problem is, they also increase the drying out process. I'm going to keep on doing this. And when we get back, we'll see how we do. This just goes to show you that sometimes when I plan something, I don't always remember it when I get to doing it. I planned on cutting a stitch groove on this one, on this part here. Not on this inside part, but on this area around here, just to ensure that the thread doesn't get rubbed or frayed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now with my stitch groover that I have set up at, again, just proud of 1/8 of an inch. And you got to be careful, because you still got to follow that edge and keep it perpendicular. Now, after I punch the holes, I'm going to come back and re-dye this, touch up the dye. And there you go, one stitch groove. I'll go ahead and do the other side. I know it's hard for you to see what I'm doing, but I'm just cutting a stitch groove in it. Now on the other side, since I already tapped in where the stitch holes are going to go, the leather came away in chunks. On this side I hadn't done that yet, so the leather is going to be one continuous piece, which is as it should be. Alright, got stitch grooves in there, and now I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors. Actually, I can still see where the stitch holes are here, and I can tell you that it came up just a little bit short on this end, so I'm going to have to kind of fudge it. What I'll do is increase my spacing or decrease my spacing slightly as I go along the stitch line until where I'm punching lines up with it. And I know I want to start right there, making sure my punch is perpendicular to the surface of the leather, and punch that straight on through. Give it a little wiggle, out it comes. Now I'm going to continue doing that all the way around until I get to this end, and we'll come back and do the other side. Okay, we got all the stitch holes punched in on both sides. And what I have left to do now is to bevel these edges and then touch up the paint. Now usually, well I won't say usually, but on black, it doesn't really matter if you color outside lines. Because you put black on black, you got black. But if it's a different color, like a brown or a saddle tan or something, if you put another layer on top of like saddle tan or brown, and you do color outside the lines, it'll show. It'll be darker in that area. So if this is brown or saddle tan, I'd use this little brush and just paint the dye just inside that groove. On the edges, I'm going to go ahead and use a dauber. But first, I'm going to go ahead and bevel the edges, and to spare you the agony of watching leather dye dry, I'm going to go ahead and do that and take care of that. And when we come back, it'll be time to put some stitches in this thing. Well, beveling edges. I take my edge beveler and I keep it stropped. Let me find my stuff. There it is. Just take some of this rouge here, put it on the edge of my strop, which I beveled with my edge beveler, and then just draw it back and push it forward. That keeps it smooth and sharp. And you can see it's taking metal off of it. It's just a tiny, tiny bit, but it's enough to keep it sharp. And just take it and bevel the edges. See if I can get this one continuous piece. It's the outside corners that always get me. Ah, there you go. I'm running out. Oh, no, I still got it. Okay, I lost it there. But anyway. I got a snag. That's okay, I'll start from the other side. idea is to blend this bevel into this existing bevel that I did on the top and the bottom. Then when I touch it up, it'll all blend together and it'll be real pretty. There we go. Now if my hands worked right, this would be a lot easier. So, but you know, this shows that even if you have a problem with your hands or something, I just brace it up and take it off and off I go. Okay, I'm going to bevel the rest of this, touch up that die, leave that sit overnight or so, and like I said, when we get back, we'll go ahead and we'll get some stitches on this thing.